Welcome to Andrew Jackson's Hermitage, which is located near Nashville, Tennessee, and is owned and operated by the Andrew Jackson Foundation.
Today, we're going to take a look inside the Hermitage, the home of President Andrew Jackson.
So join us for another lesson on the road. There's no doubt that the entry hall at the Hermitage was meant to impress the visitors of Andrew Jackson. Guests would have first noticed the beautiful elliptical staircase, the hanging lamps, and the busts of two of his cabinet members, Levi Woodbury and Lewis Cass. This space probably would have been the most comfortable space in the house. Both doors would have been open to allow breeze. This entrance hall would have also hosted dances, both for parties and formal occasions.
Most strikingly, though, is this ornate scenic wallpaper which depicts the story of Telemachus, which is adapted from Homer's Odyssey. The wallpaper was originally chosen by Andrew Jackson's wife, Rachel. After the 1834 fire, Jackson ordered that the damaged wallpaper be replaced. The Jacksons ate the main meal of the day in this west-facing dining room at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so they didn't need to rely on artificial lighting. The meals, prepared by enslaved cooks, consisted of several types of meats, including pork, beef, and wild game. Andrew Jackson himself didn't sit at the head of the table, but amongst his guests so he could participate in conversation.
The Jackson family rarely dined alone. There was a constant stream of visitors to the Hermitage, both friends and strangers. Everyone, it seemed, wanted to meet Old Hickory. Even when Andrew Jackson wasn't home, Jackson's overseer had instructions to serve travelers as they passed nearby. On each of the 4 corners of the large dining room table here at the Hermitage sits a silver serving dish. Each has a stag head handle. These dishes were sold to Andrew Jackson during his presidency by Susan Decatur, the wife of famed naval commander Stephen Decatur. The room that I'm standing in now is known as the front parlor. This served as Andrew and Rachel Jackson's bedroom, but was converted to a parlor after the 1834 fire. This room was used to host important guests. It contains mahogany furniture, red silk draperies, and white and gold French wallpaper.
Jackson was proud of his military service and would often entertain guests by telling stories from his military career. According to visitors, the front parlor acted as sort of a museum to Jackson's career. Various gifts and artifacts from his military career, as well as portraits from his military friends, can be seen throughout the room. Some fascinating objects can be seen on this table in front of me. The candle was taken from Lord Cornwallis's tent after the British surrender at Yorktown, and next to it is a piece from Plymouth Rock.
Andrew Jackson was the patriarch of 3 generations of family members, and nowhere is that seen better than in the back parlor. If the front parlor was for entertaining guests, the back parlor was for family. On display in this room are musical instruments and other personal items. This is a space where the Jacksons may have entertained each other with music and in stories, and even discussed the day's events.
Music was common in the home, as Sarah Jackson played guitar and her daughter, little Rachel, played the piano. The piano forte that's on display was purchased by Andrew Jackson as a gift. The piano and stool cost Andrew Jackson $500, which was a staggering amount of money. Land in Tennessee at that time cost around $1.25 an acre, so with that $500, Andrew Jackson could have increased the size of his property by nearly 20%.
Welcome to Andrew Jackson's library. It's from this room that Andrew Jackson would read, correspond, and entertain political friends. This room is adjoined to his bedroom, and during the last 2 years of his life, he very rarely left these 2 rooms. This room became the nerve center of his post-presidential activities. It's from here that he advised on topics such as the annexation of Texas, and it's from this room that he helped James K. Polk launch his 1844 presidential campaign.
Jackson received little formal education, but wholeheartedly believed in the value of being well-read. His personal library grew to around 800 titles, and many of his original books are still on display today. Jackson also subscribed to many newspapers and kept them for later reference. The large books on the floor are bound volumes of newspapers that Jackson brought to the Hermitage from the White House. The map on the wall behind me above the fireplace is of Florida. Jackson was the first territorial governor of Florida, a position he was appointed to by President James Monroe.
Here in Jackson's bedroom, there are many portraits hanging on the wall. Above the fireplace is a portrait of Rachel Jackson, and it was Andrew Jackson's favorite portrait of his wife. On either side of his bed, there is a portrait of Andrew Jackson Jr., his adopted son, and his granddaughter, Rachel. There's also a portrait of Jackson himself, done by George Healy. That portrait was completed just days before his death on June 8, 1845. This room is significant because this is the room where he passed away, on this bed. Jackson is buried here on the grounds of the Hermitage, next to his beloved wife, Rachel.
Jackson's bedroom was connected to the library and is located on the first floor, which was a common practice at the time. In front of the fireplace, you can see his red cushioned chair, as well as a pair of his actual slippers that were only a size 7.5. On the table in the center of the room, you can see his Book of Common Prayer and his Bible, which reflect a promise he made to Rachel to join the Hermitage Church. The pipe on the table also has historical significance, as it was carved from a piece of stone from the Alamo. Some other artifacts on the table include a pair of his actual glasses, a penknife used for bloodletting, and Rachel's Bible that Andrew Jackson wrote in until the day he died. Thank you for joining us for another lesson on the road.
So next time you're out and about and you're looking to do something that's a little bit historical
And just all around nerdy.
come check out Andrew Jackson's Hermitage and everything that it has to offer. That's Mr. Gimbi.
That's Mr. Raymond.
We'll catch you next time for another lesson on the road. And it is a long walk back to Pennsylvania.
Like they say, anywhere's walking distance if you have enough time.
Welcome to Andrew Jackson's Hermitage, which is located near Nashville, Tennessee, and is owned and operated by the Andrew Jackson Foundation.
Today, we're going to take a look side. A look side. Sorry.
And is owned and operated by the Andrew Jackson Foundation.
Today, we're going to take a look side. My God, dude, why can't I say that now? Look inside.
And the busts of two of its cabinet members, Lewis Cass, Levi Woodbury. It just doesn't roll off your tongue. Levi Woodbury.
Jackson also subscribed to many newspapers and kept them for later reference. The large books, ordered that the damaged wallpaper, or how should the damaged wallpaper? Ordered the damaged wallpaper is replaced. How do I spell that? I just don't know how to phrase it. Jackson never received a formal education. All right, that's a bad one. All right. Got to stretch out a little.